Not yet. I'm sure he won't be long. Welcome, you guys. Good to see everyone here. Yeah, obviously you registered successfully. We'll be checking everybody's name against a roll that we have. It's great to see you guys. Let me remove some of these things on my computer so I can see everybody. Still waiting for Mr. P. Oh, here he is. Here he comes.
Hey, Mr. C. Hello, children.
G'day, Mr. P.
G'day.
Got our new
Great
intro with the new song. Play that at the end. And our brand new presentation for the term.
Welcome, everyone. Great to see you.
Is anyone new, Mr. P, in the list?
Might be a handful, but, you know, we're pretty much there. Great to see you all.
Great.
Yeah, there's a couple of newbies, but that's okay. These kids will, you know, they'll be right.
Oh, yeah, of course they'll be right.
I
just want to welcome them. I want to welcome the new ones. Welcome, students, to Scribble TV. We're on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 6:30 till 7 o'clock. Yep. If you miss a lesson, email us, or are we going to YouTube, Mr. P?
I love the idea of YouTube.
There's a possibility our recordings will send on to YouTube. So if you miss a lesson, you guys will be subscribed and you can watch us there. You don't even have to email us, right? Correct. So we'll try that tonight, Mr. PA.
I reckon
send it on to YouTube. And you just got to find Scribble Inc. Some wise person put Scribble Inc. as the username, let alone there's about 50 others on YouTube called Scribble Inc. So you've got to find...
Or was it me?
Yeah, right. So students, if you get on the YouTube to try and find us, just keep looking until you see something about writing and us, Mr. P and Mr. C, all right?
And mate, we should have gone with the writing guys.
I think yeah, probably. Actually, probably not too late to change it. I don't know.
We'll have a look into that, kids.
Yeah.
Hey, now, right. Mr. C, this is a world first premiere as well. You ready? Okay, kids, now hold on to your hats. Can you see the flashing lights? Oh, wait.
Oh, yes. Okay. He's got disco lights, kids. There you go.
That's the best I can do, Mr. C.
Why do we have disco lights, Mr. P?
Well, because, kids, when you see disco lights, that means, boom, retro round.
Retro round like this? Yes. Here it comes.
Retro round, kids. Oh, I like it.
Mr. P's retro skills. Oh, Lucas already found the channel. Good on you. So let me explain what happens. All right, guys? Oh, and by the way, the rules of the chat for new people, when it's time to work, we work only. No comments. No like, hey, yeah, cool. None of that. We just write. But while we're getting ready now, it's chat time. But when you see the disco lights, that means Mr. P wants to do a retro skill. Let me explain what that is. We've been doing Scribble Inc. successfully improving the writing skills of thousands of kids since 2016. And Mr. P keeps saying, hey, why don't we do that one skill we did 5 years ago? And I said, Beauty, you tell me what skill you want the kids to learn and they will learn it. So every now and then, Mr. P is going to pull out the disco lights, which means we go back in time. And when we do, we always got to sway because we're going back in time. So you sway with us and we do a skill that we used to teach 5 years ago. Okay, that's what retro round is. And Mr. P, are the disco lights on because it's retro round tonight?
Well, just for the time being. No, it's not. I'm going to hit
that's just the practice. That's a practice.
It's practice to show everyone.
Okay, that's a practice.
No, it's not passionate at the moment.
So to our new people, the first thing we do is we play Name It. I'm going to put something on the screen and you're going to have 30 seconds to type. And when I say stop, you hit enter and show us your responses. And we like to see who got the most responses. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do something a little bit challenging. Words starting with the letter. Are you ready? You'll have 30 seconds. Once I put the letter on, you got 30 seconds.
No,
the letter
paste,
L.
correctamundo, H.
Go.
Ooh.
Words with the letter L. 30 seconds.
Ooh. Nice challenge. Let's do it.
Good turnout tonight, Mr. P. We'll have to do a roll
We
later.
want a list, Caleb, not just one. Give us lots. We are pumped. Cheeky.
In 5, 4,
You can do better than that, Jay.
3, 2, 1, enter. Show us how many you got.
Ooh,
Oh, looks like
there's some
Ichi's up there.
lychees, that's good. I like that. There's some good stuff through there. Brighton,
Well done. Good job. All right.
Wow,
now,
that's impressive.
Students, because it's Scribble TV, we got a lot to get through. We're only doing one name it game. I'm going to pause the chat. No, Mr. P, do you want to be the chat pauser because you'll remember to unpause? All right, good. You're the chat pauser. Let's pause.
All right, chat pauser.
All right, here we go.
Pause chat. Boom.
Good. Okay. Also, I need to announce that tomorrow, Mr. P is sitting in the hot chair because I have parent-teacher interviews that I need to attend tomorrow. I'll be back Thursday. We're going to get up
to so much mischief.
Yeah, exactly.
I've already decided.
So, new people and those who we're reminding, this term is all about how to write a great story. It's not NAPLAN, even though you can use this stuff for NAPLAN. I'm focusing this term on great storytelling, not writing under pressure. That's our Thursday night class. Okay, they're guys, they're practicing how to improve their scholarship test writing in 15 minutes and how to work on NAPLAN and tests. So that's Thursday night. This Scribble TV on Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays is about quality storytelling. Big difference. We don't want to rush. NAPLAN, you got to rush. But this is about quality. So the rules of a short story: one character in one place with one problem for 1 minute. In other words, you don't want lots of people in lots of places with lots of problems over a long period of time. That's not a short story. That's a chapter, and you can't do a chapter in 300 words or 400 words or 500 words. The next thing, we teach 6 paragraphs and 6 actions. That's all your character is allowed to do. 6 things. That's it. And you're thinking, you can't do a story with 6 things. I'm going to prove you wrong in a moment. You do a who paragraph, all about the character, a where paragraph, all about where they are for this story. You do what they are doing at the moment before the tension, which introduces the problem. The complication makes the problem worse, and then you resolve your story. You end your story. Okay, that's it. A Scribble short story is the simplest and most powerful short story structure in the world, in the galaxy, in the universe, and beyond. So it looks like this: 6 paragraphs, a who, a where, a what. That's called the orientation. I should call it the orangentation. Then you have the tension, complication, resolution. Okay. Now, your who paragraph has 1 character in it. Your where has 1 place in it. Your what is what your character is doing at this time. Your problem gets introduced in the tension. For 1 minute, you complicate the action, approximately 1 minute, and then resolve it. Okay, that's how a story works. And this is what it looks like. Notice the light blue are the actions. 6 actions my character is doing. That's it. Let's read this together. I'm only going to read this once. Because these lessons, our Scribble TV, will be packed full of you guys writing. But tonight, and if you're watching the repeat of this on the YouTube, I'll read it once for you guys. Let's go. And by the way, every paragraph begins with a technique. Let's have a look, just so you know. The who paragraph begins with what we call the updike. This one begins with a where start. This one, a quadruple verb. This one, the with double hand. This one, the injected verb, okay? And you will see these in action, and we'll be learning how to do them. Windows, chimney, garbage, lawn. As Shrek's cinnamon eyes glanced wearily over the swamp, he thought about his family and remembered another neglected job around the house. His trumpet-like ears twitched, a permanent symptom of having a dragon once roar right in his face. This is a couple of years after the Shrek movie. Frayed and requiring the attention of needle and thread, his brown leather vest, once able to stretch across his bulging torso, barely fit across his shoulders now he'd gained so much weight. After Fiona left with the kids almost 2 summers ago now, the once mighty green ogre was but a shadow of his former heroic self, and a much fatter one. Notice Shrek does one thing, glancing across the swamp. Everything else is storytelling. And that's why scribble stories are the best. They're so easy to write. Beyond the overgrown borders of the lake, Shrek watched dazzling fireflies crisscross the night, leaving graceful celestial trails in patterns of 8s and 0s and 3s. Among the murmurs of the night, gone were the triumphant choruses that sounded throughout the swamp. The toads, skinks, and salamanders now hummed a mournful tune, matching the sorrow of the gentle giant. Even the willow leaves were turned downward in a sad expression of grief. That's all about the where. Here's the what. What is he doing? Putting pen to paper, Shrek wrote, "Dear Fiona," hesitated momentarily, and rubbed it out, searching for a more heartfelt introduction. In his giant chubby hands, the Murch pen, with his and Donkey's face, now faded, could write no more. Words tumbled and fell in his mind, unable to reach the page. He'd give anything to have her back, climb any tower, fight any army, slay any dragon. Like the swamp, his life had lost the vibrant lime hue and turned to a lifeless seaweed green. Now we introduce the problem. With his unwritten letter in one hand and an empty glass which had been filled with a strong concoction more times than he could remember in the other, he stood and stretched his aching muscles before retiring for another sleepless night. A crack in the night stilled the chirping of the insects. The fireflies took flight. A shadow approached the lonely, hulking figure, moving soundlessly from tree to tree, seeking the perfect shot. The intruder raised the sight, placing the target in the middle of the ogre's forehead. Bang! The pebble hit Shrek squarely on the head. That's my tension. I've introduced a problem. Now let's complicate it. What the devil? Who's there? Shrek, rubbing the egg-shaped lump on his oversized head, searched for his attacker. He looked down. The missile lay on the timber, wrapped up tight. His fumbling fat fingers untied the thread and unfolded the parchment. A note. Fiona's been taken hostage. Again, meet me at the usual spot, D. And now we end the story. Fiona! Shrek's voice boomed through the swamp. I'm coming, my love. Short of breath already, he waddled as fast as his dumpy legs could carry his blimp-like body. Locking the door behind him, he was exhausted. He wondered whether Donkey would allow him to ride on his back. Okay, let's unpause the chat. Students, as Mr. P unpauses the chat, I want you to tell me, what do you learn from this story? What did your eyes notice? What did your author mind go, ooh, I like that? Go, tell us, what did you learn? Not much action. Excellent, Grace. Well spotted. Lots of description. Yes, Bryden. It is simple, Jennifer. Lots of story sentences, Evan. Absolutely. Lots of story sentences. Different adjectives. Exactly. So the structure, students, is so simple. That's why we take the hard work out of short stories by saying to you, you don't have to think of a story, right? All you need to do is think of a who, where they are, what they are doing, introduce a problem, make it worse, end it. That's all you need to do to write an A++ story. Now, the better you are at putting in these story details will produce a better story. The actions are easy. Coming up with 6 simple actions that last for 1 minute is easy. The hard bit, the quality, comes in your ideas, okay? So what we do, first of all, let's practice ideas. So Mr. P, we use this slide here called the Great Ideanator. And what we do, we pick a noun. For example, a pen. That's all we do. Now, you guys, I want you to tell me an interesting 1 or 2 sentence story about the pen. Now, what do I mean? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at Shrek's pen. I wrote, there was a Murch pen in his giant chubby hands with his and Donkey's face on it, but now it's faded and this pen cannot write anymore. That's a zingy detail. It's interesting. What else did I do? I said that The willow leaves were turned downward in a sad expression of grief. You see, I'm adding interesting details. His ears are twitching. Why? Because a dragon once roared in his face. Friends, this is what makes stories great to read. Everyone would agree this story is interesting. We want more. Well, it's a short story. You're not getting any more. But it's my skill as a storyteller that brings the reader in and makes you want to know more. So we're going to practice. Tell me about a pen. It doesn't have to be Shrek's pen. And here's an example. The pen no longer does the clicker work. So the person has to hold one finger on the top while they write with it. That's a zingy detail. No one would think to write that except a scribbler. So give me any random zingy details about it. Maybe it's got a scratch on it. How did that scratch get there? Maybe the grip is sticky. Why is it sticky? Maybe the pen has two colors and one of them has run out. Why has one color run out, but the other one is still there? You just make stuff up. Let's go. Give me some ideas. Tell me about the pen. A random pen. Maybe it's got a picture. Maybe it's got a stamp of a company. Why? Why would it have that? A Ford badge. Why is there Ford on a
Lucas,
pen?
I like that.
Jennifer,
yes, I
avoid
like that.
magic. Avoid magic in stories because too many kids use magic in stories and your teacher will go, here's another one. You want to be unique and different. So try and keep it realistic.
Lucas is on fire at the moment.
Alroy, an unknown creature. As a reader, I go unrealistic, not believable, because what's the unknown creature that sucked the ink out of his pen?
Yes,
that doesn't
Joey.
seem believable.
Pen turns into a sword.
Isan, avoid magical stuff
Magical.
because again, you want to be okay. Pause. Let's tell everyone this, Mr. P. Oh, and guys, when we say pause, it means stop typing, because if you keep typing when we've paused, you won't be able to see your chat when we unpause again. So pause, Mr. P. Can we chat for a moment? Stop the chat.
Yeah, of course. And pause.
And great. Okay, students, I must stress this. The best stories we read are adult-like stories. When you write the immature ones about fairies, princesses, ponies, murder, guns, and bombs, you can bet that 90-something% of your friends have done the same thing, because kids think that. We don't want to think that way. We want to surprise our teacher and make them go, wow, this kid's writing is amazing. What's going on? The key is write realistically like an adult would write. Pretend you are an adult author like Morris Glitzman or like R.L. Stine or like J.K. Rowling. Pretend you are an adult author and your work is going to be appealing more to an adult. When you write typical grade 4 stories, you know who likes it? The grade 4 kid sitting next to you picking his nose and eating it. We don't want to write stories for grade 4 kids. We want to entertain an adult. We want to shine. We want the teacher to go, oh my gosh, here, principal, have a read of this. I've never read a kid's story like this ever in my life. So that's why we avoid magic. When you master storytelling and you become a published author, go for magic. It worked for J.K. Rowling. It can work for you. But while we're at school, we want to be different. How do you be different? Stop writing kid ideas. Hope that makes sense. I don't want to discourage your creativity. And certainly, if your teacher says, I want a story about castles and princesses and fairies, do it. But otherwise, in NAPLAN, if it's not about those magical things, try and come up with an adult-like story, okay? It just means, like I said, no fairies, no princesses, no magic, no guns, no bombs, no murderers, no killers, okay? Try and think different. Okay, so let's go back to our pen for a couple minutes more. Release the chat, please, Mr. P.
Hey, while I'm thinking, there's some awesome examples of zingy thinking. That's awesome. I love it.
There is.
Make sure you have a look in the chat.
Okay, let's go. The pen.
Okay, so Mr. Peach. Oh, the pen. Zinger.
Okay, I like that, Joey. The spring is missing. Why?
Oh, excellent. Joey, you're the man. Yes, Belle.
Belle, fantastic.
Jen,
A married
boom.
couple's names are engraved on the pen. I love it.
Excellent,
What are the
Charles. It's
names? That would
running
be
out of ink.
interesting.
Don't be
Why
specific, like
3 seconds,
3 seconds.
Charles? I don't know people who time their pen and go, oh, I've got 3 seconds left. 3 seconds. Oh,
Quick.
I'm finished. That's
might
not
say-
realistic.
You might say
Maybe
there's
it's
only
got 3
300
millimeters
words.
of ink left. 3
Yes.
millimeters. That makes sense. That's realistic.
Limited.
Jay, how is an ancient coin stuck in a pen? I'm not sure how that works. Again, as a reader, I'm thinking, huh? And if I'm going, huh, then maybe it's not realistic.
Yep.
The ink tube is missing from the pen. Okay, why,
Nice,
Ishan? Why? Okay, students,
Nice, Caleb.
let's go with this. The ink tube
Alroy,
is
potential.
missing. Everybody, tell me why the ink tube is missing. Go. A new thread now. Why is the ink tube missing?
Carl, you lunatic. Nice
Why
family
is the
heirloom
ink
there,
tube
Alexander.
missing?
Excellent, Shen. Now we're thinking, guys. Yes, Jen, that's awesome. Things being charged, something realistic. Split, cracked, running out, all that stuff's awesome. Nice, Sophia. I like it. You know when you put a sticker on, you can't get rid of the glue? That's good.
No, Ashton, the pen does not magically. No magic. I like the idea about hiding lollies in it. If I was to take the ink out of a pen, it would be to clean my ear.
Mr. C, where are you going to stick an M&M in there? What? Hide some lollies in there.
Yeah, it have to be a really small lolly. All right, that's great. Students, pause. Each week, we're going to practice great ideas with the Great Ideanator, okay? Next, let's move on to our topics, right? This week, you're going to produce a who paragraph as your homework. So, Mr. P, that will probably be on the Thursday. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because we want a paragraph each week. So we've got a couple of days to practice. And now listen carefully, students. For homework, you're going to send us 2 who paragraphs. One is called our pre-baked one. Check it out. Look at the screen. It's virtually written for you. You just got to fill in the details. And 2, you don't have the fill-in details. You got to make it up yourself using our scribble techniques. Both of them will be sent in the email for homework. Now, Mr. P, can you tell us, do you want it in a Word document or just in the body of the email?
Oh, that's actually a good question. Let's do it as a Word document so that...
Did you hear that, guys? Your homework will be 2 who paragraphs in 1 Word document. Your pre-baked one first, that looks like that, and then your own attempt that will look like however you write it. Hope that makes sense. Okay. The following week, we will do a where paragraph pre-baked and your own. We're going to teach you how to do all this because remember, this term is about great storytelling. Week 3, we will do the what paragraph. Week 4, we will do the tension paragraph. Week 5, we do the complication. And there is no resolution because each story is going to be unique and will have a different ending, but the tension complication can be similar. Now, watch this. What will be your topic? Ta-da! Mr. P wanted a bunch for you to choose from. Let's go through them right now, being our first lesson. Here we go. Topic 1. You find strange, muddy footprints leading up to your front door. So as you come home, there's footprints leading to your front door. That's story 1. Or you might like number 2. A stranger sits down next to you on a train and gets up, leaving a package behind. Story 3. You hear news of your next door neighbor vanishing without a trace. Story 4. One day, the national news channel, so Channel 7, Channel 9, ABC, and Channel 10, shut off. And the next day, they're still not on. So your news stations have shut off mysteriously. Number 5. One day at work, you look across the street to see a hooded figure in a black coat pointing directly at you. I like that one. Number 6, you stumble upon a strange house you've never seen before on your morning run. That would be bizarre, right? Story 7, you get a text message from an unknown number that says, meet me outside now. Number 8, your parents tell you that they actually don't know whose child you really are. Number 9, someone puts a large black box on your doorstep and the note on it says, caution, may bite. And number 10, you wake up to discover a completely different unknown face staring at you from the mirror. What the? Now, in each of these instances, guys, here's the neat thing. Each one of these is the tension paragraph. They're not the who, the where, the what. You have to make that up. But these are the tension. Following this paragraph that you write will be a complication, then an ending. Hope that makes sense, okay? These are the tension paragraphs.
So what you're saying is you don't start the story with the character looking at muddy footprints leading up to the front door.
No, we need the who, the where, and the what first. We need our orientation before the problem introduces itself, okay? Now,
you all understand
students,
that?
I would like you now, in 30 seconds, tell us what number, what 3 numbers appeal to you out of those. Which ones might you do? Which ones might you be interested? Or if you already know, just tell us the one. Go. Because this is going to last for the next 5 or 6 weeks. Okay, so choose one right now, tonight.
Pressure's on.
Yes, it is. Okay, those of you who put 3, now you've got to choose one. Go. You've got to pick one. Ready to go tomorrow. All righty. Great. Now remember, your homework after Thursday's lesson, right? After Thursday's lesson, so this week we're practicing who. So tomorrow night with Mr. P, you're going to practice this who. And if there's time, you'll get to do the scribble technique who. One is pre-baked. You just fill in the blanks and he will show you how. The other one is, okay, let's do this.
I thought we were doing the who tonight, Mr. C.
No. So
I prepared the where.
Not in 3 minutes. I can demonstrate one in 3 minutes. Absolutely.
No, leave it.
On Thursday, we practice the who again. All right. And then over the weekend, your job is to take one of them, one of the pre-baked and one of your scribble technique ones, and send it in a Word document. What's the address, Mr. P? Oh, you wrote it before, didn't you?
Yeah, I just did hello@scribbleinc.com.au.
There you go. I've pinned it. I've pinned it. Okay.
Wait, Natalie.
All righty. So tomorrow, this is what you're going to have.
Give us some time, pal. We got work to do.
This is what you're filling in tomorrow night. Okay. Now, Mr. P, in all honesty, even if this is only what we get done tomorrow night, the next night I will do the next who, and they can choose which one, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because they may not get through both in the night.
We will see how we go.
See how we go. If we do, then I will do it again on Thursday. Same thing, same topic. So guys, please remember your topic, what you're choosing to write about, because guess what? After 6 weeks, you have sent us a story.
Boom.
Right? Week 1, who? Week 2, where? Then what? Etc., etc., etc. There's a story.
Mr. C, I have to make this point to everyone. Kids, please understand that when you come to Scribble Inc., this isn't about a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm going to do Scribble Inc. and I'm going to be brilliant. We don't care where you are at right now. We care about how you finish school, and we want you to be a top student at your school. Okay? We had a student who came through 3 years ago who was rated the best student at grammar. Now, Brisbane Boys Grammar is one of Brisbane's top schools. Now, he is a scribbler and he started with us in year 7. Now, you don't become a top student using fantastic structures without working hard. So for those of you who have been with us for a little while, you guys are building something special. And I know that at times we get a bit repetitive, but that's part of the secret.
That's the
Okie
secret.
dokie. That's the secret. Duh.
That the repetition is the secret, guys. Piano, you learn scales over and over and over. Chess moves, you practice them over and over and over. Netball, you shoot goals over and over and over. Basketball, you practice your layups over and over and over. Without repetition, you cannot improve. The saddest thing for us is students who come for one term and go, oh, well, I'm no better. That's it. Mate, the kids who've come for 3 years are the best in their school, or the best in their class, or the best in Queensland 2 years ago. The best year 12 student in Queensland was a scribbler. It's a long-term process to change the bad habits in your brain, okay? Your brain writes like you speak and like you think. That is not writing. That is not the art of writing. The art of writing is taking your ideas and turning them into something amazing. And that's what we'll be doing. So new people, thank you for joining us. What a decision. Your writing is going to go astronomically better as you stick with this, these techniques, this program. Guys,
and
that is the end of, yes, Mr. Pete, go.
If you're only a little E and you're going, oh, I can't do this, this is about exposing you to brilliance, okay? We're not going to teach you grade 4 stuff or grade 5 stuff. We want to challenge you so you become brilliant, all right? Leave that stuff for school. Scribble ink is different, okay?
Absolutely.
You'll love it.
You're going to rock big time, okay, with all of this. Now, just so you know, for new people, this lesson is recorded and it will be no, we're going to put it on the YouTube.
Yeah, but it also gets emailed, I think, if they log in.
Well, we do one or the other. Oh, do you want to do both? We can do both.
You get both. That way, there's no excuses.
If you have typed your email correctly, you're going to get this recording. Watch it again. Someone said, oh, can I have this structure? Hey, you got the recording. Pause the screen. Easy. You will have it. Okay. Usually takes half an hour to an hour before you get the recording. All right. The way we finish, there's 2 things we do. Number 1, we have to say goodbye in a foreign language. And number 2, we play a new Scribble song. I had to change it from Merry Melodies because YouTube was blocking us. So this is our new dance. Let's say goodbye. Look after your vegetables. Eat your parents. Mr. P will see you tomorrow night with the disco lights. I will see you on Thursday night because I've got parent-teacher interviews tomorrow. Okay? So I'll be back on Thursday.
That's okay.
You can dance with us. What we do is write.
Send me a feedback, kid.
It's the best thing.
Write something. If you like this song.
See you tomorrow, guys. Mr. P will see you.
Stay awesome. See you, mate.
Yep, stay awesome because you